Imagine waking up one morning and the biggest IPO in human history is finally happening. Not Apple, not Amazon, not Nvidia, but SpaceX. A company once mocked for exploding rockets is now potentially worth over $1.5 trillion before even going public. But here's the crazy part. This IPO may not just create headlines, it could completely change investing forever. Because according to reports surrounding the SpaceX S1 filing, this isn't structured like a normal Wall Street IPO. We are talking about a possible 30% retail allocation, one of the most hyped companies ever created. We are talking about investors buying into mass colonies and AI infrastructure. So in this video, I'll be talking about the biggest IPO in history, which is SpaceX, and I'll also be talking about the 30% of shares that was allocated to retail investors, which is quite rare on Wall Street. And then I'll be talking about how people are not just investing in the numbers of this company, they're investing in the belief and the future that this company has. And then finally, I will now talk on the risks that nobody is talking about. Because of course, behind or around this overhyped SpaceX IPO that is upcoming, there are risks that are worth knowing. My name is Elias, and if you are coming across my videos for the first time, I talk about business, I talk about personal finance and investing on this channel. So if you want to be a member of this community, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on your notification bell. This is going to be very interesting, so make sure you watch to the end of the video. Let's get right into it. According to the SpaceX S1 filing, and an S1 filing is a document that a private company submits to the SEC when it wants to sell shares to the public for the first time through an initial public offering, also called IPO. So according to the SpaceX S1 filing, the company is pursuing a valuation of $1.75 trillion and is seeking to raise $75 billion. This would instantly make SpaceX to become one of the most valuable companies on earth. And massive IPOs don't just affect one company, they affect the entire investing ecosystem. Because when a company this large goes public, institutions rebalance their portfolios, retail investors flood brokerage apps, media coverage becomes non-stop, and trillions of dollars of attention shifts towards one stock. This isn't just another stock listing, this could become a global event. Number two, the 30% retail allocation. According to the S1 filing, SpaceX may allocate 30% of the shares to retail investors, and on Wall Street, that's almost unheard of because IPOs are usually reserved for hedge funds, banks, wealthy institutions, and elite clients. So the retail investors would only be able to buy after the price has gone way above the IPO price. But now, retail investors will have the chance to be on the same playing field as the big money guys, which is quite rare on Wall Street. And this 30% retail allocation kind of makes sense because of a lot of retail investors already own Tesla shares and we also like to own SpaceX shares. Number three, the business behind SpaceX is not just rockets. Most people think SpaceX is just a rocket company. No, it's not. Starlink now represents a massive portion of the company's revenue. And that changes everything because investors don't really love rocket business. They love recurring revenue businesses. They love subscription businesses. They love infrastructure businesses, which means investors may stop valuing SpaceX as an aerospace company and start valuing it more like a telecom giant, an AI infrastructure company, or even a global internet utility. People are not just investing in the numbers, they're investing in what they believe will be its growth in the future. Amazon was not profitable for years after its IPO, but people believed and invested in its future. Now look at what it's worth today. Tesla investors didn't just buy a car company, they bought the idea of the future. Now see what it's worth today. And a lot of people are afraid of losing on the next Amazon. They are afraid of losing on the next Tesla. So when SpaceX goes public, people will just be buying a rocket company. They'll be buying mass colonization, human extension into space, AI infrastructure, global internet dominance, and the future of civilization itself. And narrative drives capital, sometimes even more than fundamentals. Number 5 is the risk in the S1 filing that almost nobody talks about. Behind the hype, the sky high valuation, and excitement, there are warnings that investors may ignore. Reports analyzing the filing mentions massive capital expenditures, heavy spending requirements, regulatory risks, dependence on Musk, and even governance concerns. And because SpaceX combines celebrity culture, futuristic technology, retail enthusiasm, and massive media attention, it could become one of the most volatile stocks ever created. So, as you are excited and deeply interested in owning shares in SpaceX, it is important you know and you are actively conscious about the risks that are involved. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop my next video.